Thank you, Scott. Good morning, everybody. Data science, using data to advance our healthcare mission has been part of Mount Sinai's DNA since its founding. In fact, in 1968, the first annual report talked about someone named Leon Porty, who spent several years teaching computers to read, interpret, and diagnose EKG signals, and had a prototype network implementation where 6 hospitals actually worked together to use that data to inform their diagnoses. At that time, they also used the computers of the day, which were IBM punch cards that were used to analyze antibiotics acceptability and identify which antibiotics would be most useful for individual patients. So these are 2 ideas at the very beginning of Mount Sinai that actually arguably were decades ahead of their time, because we're still doing these things quite actively today. The dean of Mount Sinai, Thomas Chalmers, from 1973 to 1983, was a real leader in data science, in fact. He was a pioneer in clinical trials and advocated using randomization and robust statistics to evaluate clinical trials that they were running at Mount Sinai. And in fact, he even created a new department, kind of a department of data science. At that time, he called it the Department of Biomathematical Sciences. And as we know, in around 2011, Mount Sinai made a real commitment to making data science one of the pillars of our programs, with the programs that Eric Schott built up. And over that time, he built up world-class capabilities in genomic technology development, led by Patricia Kovacs, a supercomputer that is the biggest, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, in any medical center in the country, and really expanded our genetics department that went from ranked 31st in funding to ranked number 4. And based on this, Mount Sinai was recognized as a real leader in data science by Fast Company, called one of the most innovative data science companies, one of the top 10 most innovative data science companies in the world, organizations in the world. And this led to a spin-out Semaphore, which is a large, successful genomic molecular testing company that was spun out of these data science efforts. Going forward, Mount Sinai is making a bold commitment to use this as the foundation of our programs, which I think has the potential to make us the premier institution in leveraging large-scale data as the centerpiece of how we discover and deliver cutting-edge treatments to patients. These programs leverage molecular profiling technologies that can now measure billions of data points on individual patients. And these technologies are becoming so cost-effective. In fact, recently they have become so cost-effective that they're now a routine part of clinical care. So what this means is that across the country and across the world, hundreds of millions of patients will have this type of information profiled on their disease. And what our new programs are asking is if we can learn from all of these data, these hundreds of millions of patients, to uncover mechanisms of disease, identify new drugs, new drug targets, and deliver them to patients who are most likely to benefit. And we're asking, what if we can couple these predictions with new technologies in high-throughput drug screening, gene editing, and developing model systems of disease, so we can test thousands of these predictions right away in patient-derived samples. And what if all of this research in advanced data science and technology is done hand in hand with the top experts, disease clinical experts in the field, who can rapidly bring the discoveries that come out of this work directly to benefit patients? We think if we can do this in the next upcoming years, we can lead the way science will be done in the future and accelerate our ability to discover breakthrough therapies and bring them to patients faster than we've ever been able to do.